Not yet, so. Almost.
That's why we needed to start a couple minutes early, because of you and that
Me,
button.
I don't want to worry about it. There we go.
Complicated devices.
Yeah.
Okay, it's April 2nd, 2024. The time is 5:30. We'll call the meeting to order. Those here, the three commissioners. We have one, Jason Wright, the two deputies, and the chief, and...
Helen Hardenberg from Northfield.
Okay. Okay. First thing, we get electric chair person.
Electric chair, wow.
Yeah,
Pass on that.
electric chair, yeah. I'd like to nominate Tim Settler.
Second.
It's been moved second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What do you think of that?
Congratulations.
There you go.
We'll get the saw going.
Thank you for your vote of confidence.
Now you get to run the meeting from
I get to run the meeting. All right.
Well, the meeting's gonna run here.
All right. Correspondence. What is this?
I sent this out to you. The commissioners asked me to look at getting an appraisal of the Center Street Fire Station property. And I talked to Bill McLean, who's a certified appraiser out of Guilford. His company does a lot of commercial properties. And so he did not an official appraisal, but he worked on this for a day for us for free. And he came up with the fire station estimated value at, where is it? It was like $70,000. And if you want that in official writing, it would be $2,500 for him to do so.
Now, that was for the
I forwarded this.
You did,
everybody,
you did.
so-
That's land and building.
land and
Yes,
building.
yes.
But that takes in consideration that there's hazard mitigation
Well,
involved with that?
well, he compared it to similar properties in downtown Tilton that have been sold, what the square footage of those properties are, and what they went for the price for those square footages, and that's where he came up with his number. I'm not going to dispute it. This is what the guy does for a living. Yeah, $12 to $13 per square foot range, and I think it's 5,800 square feet is the building.
So is that appraisal based on the fact that the amount of mitigation and the lack of
It's a
use of probable uses?
Yeah, so I had probably 2 or 3 conversations with him during the day. He called and was asking questions, and I told him the answers to those questions. Some of those were, what's the building currently used for, and what could it be used for, and without doing anything to it. I says, well, its current use is a fire station, and if you wanted to change the use, you would have to comply with the new code of whatever you changed it to. So that limited the value of it as well. And then the condition of the building, the age of the building, when it was built. He looked up, he knew all that stuff, he looked it all up
It's on
online.
the tax card.
Yep, and he has other sources of databases, I guess, that I wasn't privy to anyways. And then he sent this to me at the end of the day. Yeah, it's about $12 or $13 per square foot.
So technically, it's probably not even worth. We might as well hold on to it. Yeah, you use it for storage. I mean, it's $75,000.
Well, that's it. You think like a plumbing and heating person
Yeah.
would want to put trucks underneath and an office upstairs, and a business could run out of that in a commercial setting. Yeah, somebody, I think you could sell it for more than
I
that.
know you would.
I carried a license for 10 years, not an appraiser, but a broker. I would beg to differ. But anyway, so the point of that being that we...
The point was, do you want me to hire him for $2,500 to
Nope.
do an
No,
official.
not him.
No. I mean, I got a feeling we know basically what it's worth.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, it can be used for something else. I bet you could put that on the market, and at least get 150,
If it's got there.
if
But
more, if
my
not.
question is it worth 150, but it's gonna take 90,000 to clean it up?
Well, it depends what, it depends what somebody wants to use it for.
Clean what up, I guess that's the.
Well, lead paint.
Oh, okay.
We can't touch the paint on that, it's all lead. And the mitigation costs, chief, was,
Underneath the lead paint, they had the asbestos siding
right.
stuff too, so.
So I don't know if that's been
Yeah.
factored
Yeah,
in
if you
because,
can encapsulate, go over it, or if it has to come off.
right.
Well, then, right.
Which-
Stairway is inadequate, and egress
And I
is
think something
inadequate.
that should stick in the back of the minds
Parking
of
is
the
inadequate.
commissioners and the administration is, you know, if we keep going trying to get a station, eventually that's gotta be taken care of.
Hmm.
Is that paint is falling off.
Right.
Well, and Jason's just bringing up to speed, the reason we had that discussion was the building committee, discussion about locations for a fire station, and one of the, which I assume we're gonna talk about here later, because I saw it in there,
Exchange.
was the property exchange and what the value of that property is versus this property, and,
Right.
and those kind of things, and
Yeah.
we were trying to ascertain.
That's where I thought it was gonna
Yeah.
go. That's why. All right.
All right, any other questions on that topic?
I guess he needs an answer. I'm not for hiring somebody to give us
And
some
I'm
reason.
not either.
Okay,
No.
okay,
So no further action on that at this time?
that's fine.
Okay, building committee. The building committee, again, maybe for Jason's, to bring you up to date, we've been working on the survey. Gone back and forth. They have got the survey to fit on the size document, and this is the final draft of that survey, or the final of that survey. So, I think it's gonna go to the building committee at their next meeting, and they will likely recommend that the commissioners, move forward and send this out.
I do have some questions on some of the questions here.
Okay.
Okay, number one, on the last page here, number 3, no, I'm sorry, number 2.
Page number 2. Question number 2?
Yeah,
Q2?
yeah, about you, it says,
Oh,
it's number 2.
it's at the very end after
Yeah.
question 16.
It says what level of education that you have completed. Technically, I don't believe that's anybody's business, number one. I don't know why it's there, because it does not make sense. What sense does it have compared to this? That one there. And the other thing here is number 5, your income. I don't know what that means.
Usually those have a prefer not to answer box to
Yeah.
check, right? Anytime you do that.
Well,
There were other things I think that could have been put in there besides that.
so I guess I'll respond to that. We spent a lot of time, there were even more qualifying questions in there that we removed. And these were the ones that, working with the survey center, that they recommended and provided some follow-up information as to why that information might be helpful when looking at the responses you receive, so that you can get a sense of which residents responded based on some of that information. And at the beginning, it says, that you don't need to answer any questions you don't want
I
to.
saw that.
Okay, so they can opt out.
Yeah, so, and we talked about that throughout the survey. If I don't know enough information to make a, intelligent choice on one of these other questions, you don't need to. You just move past it and answer the questions that pertain to you, or you feel you're offering an opinion that.
It doesn't make sense if these are relevant compared to the survey. I mean, what difference does it make whether I went to high school, I went to tech school, or college, or further education? What
Because
difference does it make?
it might help you if you look at how people answer some of the questions, and you can see a trend. So all those folks that maybe have higher education also have higher income and are more likely to be okay with a higher cost solution. And that would make the data relevant, it would make the data, I don't want to say relevant, but you would understand the choices they made because of that data.
I guess, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but it
You know,
just,
it's kind of like the age one. You know, somebody who's older, who's thinking about EMS services might be more prone to say yes to, you know, a lot of these other questions. Somebody younger might not see the value in spending the money or some of these other questions.
yeah, and I can see the age, but like I said, the school, the education, and the salary really gets me. I mean, it's got nothing to do with the salary, I mean,
But I think it does from the standpoint of how much money are you going to ask people to pay, and if you get a lot of surveys back that demonstrate that there's not the ability to pay. I mean, we can sit here and say that, you know, we don't want the budget to go up more than 2% because there's all those folks in town who can't pay, who are already, you know, fixed income. We can have all those discussions. Well, what percentage of those people are they? You know, do we hold back the district because there's 50% of the population that's on a fixed income and can't pay, or?
You have no other way of knowing, other than asking.
Right.
Right. 3 people could get up and make that argument, and if they're the only 3 out of 100, then they steer the ship, or? Right.
So we spent a lot of time on that, Paul, and I appreciate your concern, and we took out a lot of questions, because there was half a page of questions. And we had the same discussion about those, and these are the ones we were left with, that we thought needed to be there.
So does the building committee, they're gonna review this one more time?
They've reviewed it, and this is what we have, and it came to the commissioners for their blessing, really.
So they're not gonna meet over this?
They'll see
No,
it.
this will be the first time they see it.
They've seen it in an email version.
Will it have a removable label with a name and address?
No, this is how it's going to come. It goes to every.
So it will get returned, not anonymously.
It's
It
just
will
going
be
to
returned
resident.
anonymously.
Oh, that's the actual address.
That's the
Yeah.
address.
Yeah.
It's a bulk blast, yeah.
Gotcha. All right, I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll get it this way,
Yep.
and you return it this way.
No, my concern was my name and address being
No,
on it.
it won't be.
Going, wait a minute, it's not anonymous anymore, and let's go back to what Paul's talking about. But
And that's why you have
that's
to
the
ask,
address.
that's why you have to ask those questions about like which town do you live in. You won't know.
Right, okay, got it.
We also talked about, because of that, there's no way of knowing if somebody called in and asked for multiple additional copies, which they're certainly welcome to do. I get one to my house, but we each want to fill one out and send it back. We can get another copy, but we want, and they'll know that when they get requests for more, that, you know, we won't be sending 50 to one address.
Right.
Yeah.
so one will go to every household, or
Yeah.
every person?
Every household.
Every
Just one?
household.
Okay, so you only get one.
Yeah, and again, in that instruction part, it talks about if you need an additional copy.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Very impressed with the work they did.
No, I
Ease of-
read through
ease
the
of-
questions, some of them, they're pretty good, except for what it said toward the end. I was a little disappointed in the end, but
Well, and just the wordsmithing they do, and we sit there and go, well, why are you asking the question this way? And then the next question, you have a different type of, and it's to,
Kind of
there's
cross-validate where the,
reasoning behind all that. It was very educational and way more, I think, thorough than what anything we could have come up on our own. Anything else on that?
No, I guess that's all I had on that.
All right.
So I get to keep this one, so I can send in two. Maybe three.
So many personalities you have, Paul.
All right, can we move on to Chief's report?
Sure.
That's, page, the next page.
Next page over. So yesterday being the first, I spent yesterday comprising this report because of all the month-end data that we have to put into it. Starting at the top, of course, our 2023 budget audit is still in progress, and I don't know when we're gonna start getting stuff back from that, but we know as much as we're gonna know about it right now. And when we start getting other documents, we'll let the commission know. The operating budget is expended at 24.9%, and we're 25% through the annual operating budget. Apparatus equipment fund balance right now is $1,052,688, and we've collected $129,918 so far this year in ambulance revenue.
Now,
Questions on those?
yeah, the apparatus and equipment fund.
Yep.
Have we taken any, I know you said the stuff for the ambulance, have you taken that out of the?
No.
Not yet.
No, but it's, I think it is, some of it is in this.
Some of it's in this, it'll come out.
Okay,
Yes, part of it's in the
okay,
manifest.
okay.
Any other questions on that?
No.
All right, so moving forward, we didn't use any hydrants last month. Not in Tilton anyways. Fire prevention report, and for the month we did 46 fire prevention inspections. Any questions on those?
Those are in your reports.
Everything's in the report anyways, you get a copy of everything.
We should use the hydrants. We're paying for them.
We don't want to have to use that.
We don't want to have to pay for them.
Well, we have to pay for them, we just don't want to have to use them.
All right, for the incident reports, we had 181 incidents last month. 126 of those were EMS in nature, equating to 70% of the total call volume for the month. And the engine responded with the ambulance 68 times for EMS or MVA incidents. Any questions on that?
Good one on the highway today.
On the incidents here, the fire truck responded 46 times? No, that was fire inspection.
68 times.
58,
68.
yeah. Is there any way to put in there how many times the ladder truck has responded to medical calls still?
The
Or
ladder truck responded
incidents.
The ladder truck doesn't generally respond to any medical calls.
Okay, not medical, okay, accidents, let's put it that way.
So, yeah, I can do that.
I'm just curious how many in the course of a year, is it 100, is it, and I know it's not 100, all I'm saying, it could be 10?
It's
I
gonna
think
be,
3 times last month.
I was thinking two, so you got one more than I thought.
Yeah, and you both have more than I do, because I was thinking one.
Yep.
Saturday was still,
I just, it's something
Saturday.
I'd like to.
Twice.
And
Twice
then we
last
had the
month.
fatality down on 93. I was thinking there was one more.
the
one up
went
on Bay
to
Hill.
Shaker Road and on 93 last month.
And there was one on Bay Hill, because it was right
Yeah,
by my
that's right.
house.
Yes, yep.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But I can put ladder responses.
Yeah,
If that's-
it
if
just-
you want me to add that.
I mean, it's in
Yeah,
there.
it'd be nice to
Still-
know.
If you look through the report, you can find it.
I can, yeah, I know.
And that's how I find them, because our software doesn't ferret each individual vehicle out for incidents. It gives us the list of what went on every incident. It's for me to count it, I have to actually count.
Okay.
Any other questions on that? All right. Overlapping incidents, we had 82 overlapping simultaneous incidents last month, accounting for 45% of all our incidents. We received 2 mutual aid responses, and both those patients were transported. We responded to 7 mutual aid requests, 3 of them were transported. We received 4 mutual aid engine responses, and we responded with our engine 12 times.
Oh, wow.
It seems like we've been responding to Franklin a lot in the last month.
yeah, I
I don't
don't,
go there. more than
I don't know
anywhere
if
Is
else.
there anything going on in Franklin where they're short-staffed or understaffed or?
No, they've been running actually 5 during the day, and then they're either 3 or 4 at night.
And
But I think they've just been busier, and
what about how many paramedics they got over there?
I'd be lying if I told you, I think it's 3, but I could be wrong on that number. You got Mike Muzzy, Tony,
The
or the
chief.
chief. I feel like they have another one. I just can't pick it off the top of my head.
I don't know, I don't think so.
No.
They have one in school, I think,
Yes.
yeah, so.
Now, do they ever call us to go over there just because they need a paramedic?
Yeah,
Yes.
we could call there for
Yeah.
paramedics.
So, we went there for a paramedic intercept twice last month, I believe.
Okay. Still bothers me. It bothers me because all these years that we used to call for paramedic over here, they used to charge us. It was $150 every time we called for one. And now the table is turned, we pay nothing, we get nothing. But needless to say, that's the way it is.
That's part of being
Yeah.
in the mutual aid district. It's part of the bylaws that we don't charge each other for mutual aids. So, and we looked at that last year as Lakes Region Mutual Aid, looking at maybe changing that policy. And when it went to a vote, we had a committee on it, and they brought a proposal before the board of directors to consider changing the policy, and it overwhelmingly went down the tubes. It was, in fact, there was only one yes vote. So, people like it the way it is right now,
Oh,
so.
there's no doubt, it's great the way it is. It's just that I remember all those years, we needed one, and, you know, God, sometimes it's $500-600 a month we had to pay.
Yeah. Okay, moving forward, apparatus, the rescue's listed for sale with Brindley Mountain. I've had 3 inquiries so far. All 3 inquiries are in the planning stages of trying to acquire a used rescue. Some of them are 6 to 8 months out. All of them asked me multiple questions about the vehicle, which I've answered but through email or a phone conversation with them, and that's kind of where it stands right now. The asking price on the website is $45,000. Looking at everything else that's similar to it on the website, I thought that was a good place to start. And if, 6, 7, 8 months down the road, we're not really getting any action, we'll lower the price. See what happens then.
I'm not sure, 6, 7, 8 months, but
Well,
maybe a few months.
we'll let the commissioners decide that. The ladder truck was repaired, the seat belt and the backup alarms were messed up, they're repaired now. The pickup truck, utility one, the transmission pan rotted out while it was plowing the last storm, so we had to have the transmission pan, a new one put on. We're still waiting for 21 engine 1 to go to Dingy, hopefully later this month. Has he gotten back to you yet?
No.
No. We put the summer tires on the ambulances.
That's why.
Yeah, that was.
Sorry about that.
You can put the winter air back in.
Maybe pulled the trigger on that one too soon.
So you're the reason it's snowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I left my plow on, snow blower on,
my fault.
and it won't snow.
Well, I hope it doesn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't look that way right now. The new pickup truck.
What's the repair thing with engine 1?
Oh, it's just a bunch of little
Fiddly
like
stuff.
the on-spot chains didn't go all the way back up, so they got to look and see why they not fully retracting.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
figured.
One of the seat belts things got twisted around because of the way it's in the seat.
Yeah.
and then it
The
got jammed in
pump
the door.
PTO needs to be rebuilt. A bunch of it. It's a lot of ticky-tack stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dingy is real good about that.
How
stuff.
long of repair out of service?
He usually goes pretty, he doesn't take it till he's ready for it, and once he takes it, he's usually pretty good about making it 2 or 3 days at the most. So we send him a list, he fixes it all, and gets it back, and if he can't fix it in a timely manner, he usually bring it back, and then try to fix it here. So, he doesn't like to keep it for weeks on end, you know, it's usually a couple days, 3 days.
Okay, thank you. Kevin Waldron joined us. Hi, Kevin. Sorry.
The new pickup should be here, I'd say within the month.
And we all ready to go.
Yeah, they're waiting on parts for it right now. He was supposed to get back to me yesterday, but he didn't, so, and I was too busy today to chase him down. All the identifier decals on the old pickup truck and the rescue truck are removed. So when we dispose of those vehicles, they won't have anything to say. You won't see it on the boat ramp
140
fishing.
boat ramp for 3 years, yeah.
Gone fishing.
Yep.
It made him a nice house.
Yeah.
So once the new pickup is able to go in service, we want to dispose of the old pickup. And I wanted to ask the commissioners if you had any preference on how we dispose of the old pickup. The last pickup, we did a sealed bid process. I didn't know if you wanted me to like do it in a sealed bid portion or just any other way.
I can't remember, did we make last time, I don't know if we made, I mean, didn't make money, but if it would be better to advertise it or do a sealed bid. I can't remember last time if we made out,
I think we got about $8,000 for it, the last one.
I think, yeah, it was somewhere around there, I guess, yeah.
How do the towns get rid of equipment?
Everybody does something different. They do it up front. I think Tilton is using Municipid, which is a company I've used with my state stuff as an online platform. You have an account, there's no obligation, you can set your own reserve, or you can have a right of refusal. You can get your final bids, still bring it before the body or your board for a vote. So it's wide reach with the online stuff. So there's, I've experienced different formats in my line of work. So, but Municipid just seems to be it's a company I've used. They're probably 14, 15 years in the business of just doing municipal online. It's almost like an eBay platform.
Yeah, if you go
do your
on,
own pictures, run around, and
if you go online, it's mostly old cruises that I found.
yeah, pretty wide variety of
Yeah.
stuff.
But yeah, I haven't used that here, but I've used it.
Yeah, the state had them for a 3-year contract to supplement the 2 live auctions we do. But you know, if you just park it out in front with a the sealed bid thing, you don't get all the traffic that you good unless anybody drives down that street.
We advertised the
Yeah.
sealed bid thing in the papers and stuff like that.
I don't buy the paper. You buy the paper. I read the paper. Online. Wait for the future. It's coming. That interweb thing. I think there's something to it.
I don't have a suggestion.
I know-
Well, I mean, we'd probably better put it online. You get more people to look at it, might make more money than a bid.
I know,
I mean, you might get 3 bidders and you gotta give it,
I talked to another chief, he used eBay, and
I think the listing fees might be a little steep with them.
but I'm just saying,
Yeah, at Municipal, I don't think there's any obligation on the seller. There's no fees on the seller. It's the buyer pays a premium at the other end. So you don't pay to advertise. You don't pay to list it. You don't pay if it falls on its face. I don't know. It's just one option of. I'm sure there's some other online platforms.
Do we want to make a motion for the chief?
I would at least get it. I'll make a motion. We get it listed on a Municipid or similar platform. Because they usually put it on for 14 days. And when it's done, we have a result we can vote on at the next meeting.
I'll second it.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
I'll start that when
What's the new?
once the new one's in service.
Yeah, plow goes with it?
Yep.
Okay.
Moving forward, the new website is still live and it's updated, like has Jason's name in there and stuff like that now. Grants, the Safer grant has ended and all the reimbursements are up to date. I applied for a 2024 Homeland Security grant for additional radio infrastructure, almost $90,000, and that grant has been moved to the Commissioner of Safety for approval. I expect we'll get it. I just don't know when. Center Street, yeah. So now that they've closed that section of parking lot beside the fire station, we've been parking behind the fire station, and it's quite a quagmire mud situation. And we've had Dwayne bring some stone in and stuff like that. I don't know where it all went. It's all kind of.
There's another, it's a 8-inch, 10-inch pothole there.
Yeah,
Again,
it's just like.
twice the size of this table again. We
So,
brought in a lot of,
It just gets beaten down.
yeah, so,
fill.
we really need to pave it. And so I asked Quarter Paving to give us an estimate, and it come out to somewhere around 10,000, where I have it right here. Came out to $9,636 to make it right with the material underneath, grade it so it's not draining into the fire station, it's sloping away from the fire station and paving it. We don't have the money in the operating budget to pay for this, but we do have the communications tower expendable trust fund, which the commissioners are agents to, and there's $26,508 in that. And if we could pave that when it gets a little drier out, the employees would really appreciate it.
What would it cost to bring in some ledge pad?
Well, that's what we had Dwayne do.
Yeah, but if you
You're
just keep,
talking paving it though.
yeah, if you keep throwing it in it's like a salad bowl full of marbles. You can fill it, and then you put your fist in, and all the marbles come shooting out. So
Yeah.
it's what's it cost to get rid of everything, right?
I know,
You
but
got to get rid of the pothole and just put material
I
in it
understand.
and not pave it. I don't want to pave it either,
Yeah.
Paul. to be
I don't
honest.
either.
But now we've opened the conversation, going to sell the building, we're looking at a price on value of the
Yeah,
building.
yeah.
I don't want to pave it, but that's just me.
I don't want to
But
pay it either.
I
I
think
mean,
there
it's
could
almost
be-
like we just keep dumping money,
Right.
and hopefully we're gonna, within the next couple of years, get a station.
Yes.
Hopefully.
So if we do, later on, if you look at the agreement, we transfer the thing, one of our things is that when we do remove the building, if we do this land swap, we do have to pave it anyway, so. At least that was the verbal, I just got the new agreement in the email 2 seconds before I got here, so I don't know what it looks like yet.
Yeah.
I never, when we talked about this, well, I'll wait till we get on that before I say too much about that, okay?
I'm not sure I feel like paving it either, but I'm more concerned about that we would think we would take the money from the communication tower expendable trust fund for paving.
I think that there's a clause in there that it's for building repairs and
Yes.
maintenance.
It's-
And there's, it's a fundraising source to allow to do repairs and maintenance. It's the way I remember that fund being created.
For communication equipment, building repairs, maintenance, you can even use it towards a new building if you wanted to,
Right.
the way it's worded. But the commissioners are the agents of the fund and they decide how to use it.
Well, I guess I'd be inclined to get a quote for somebody to come in and bring in some more appropriate material and just spread it.
And at least
Yeah.
dig out the pothole. You gotta get rid of the defective area. If you just keep throwing stuff in, it's just gonna keep bouncing out. A little bit of light excavation, then fill, ledge pack.
If we
And
don't,
Dwayne's kinda hip to that stuff, he knows, you know.
yeah, if we don't go ahead and pave it, I would ask the commissioners to maybe approach the town about making a separate entrance into their parking area. Our parking area where that pothole is a constant flow of traffic
Right.
that doesn't belong to the fire department.
Yeah.
So they are coming close to our cars,
Yep.
they're in our way, and they're constantly, I put a card, I bet 4 or 5 times a week I put a card, please do not park here, fire department parking only.
Right.
And because of that traffic going through and because we have to
Oh, yeah.
plow around it, so maybe the town can put another access into their parking lot on the other side.
Yep.
Possibly, I don't know. If we pave it, a lot of that problem will go away because we could have lines. And we're not parking in mud puddles, and it's
Yeah.
pretty bad out there, it's rugged, so,
Oh, it is bad out there.
yeah.
Yeah, and we're gonna get signage to.
The only way to that town parking lot is behind the fire station. Because everybody
But that
parks.
belongs to the fire station.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So if we park in the middle of right behind this fire station, there's no way they're gonna get through there.
well, we have to be able to get in and out ourselves if we just.
Right. I have to be able to get in there to park.
There's always a way to get in there. I mean,
No, there isn't.
There isn't. All those parking spaces are full. You can't get there.
That's a mess.
See, once they fill the spaces, there's no exit on that side.
Right.
It's all spaces. So if you fill the spaces, there's no exit.
I just drove an F-650 through there with a 20-foot container on it,
I'll bet.
right now.
Because you couldn't get through out front.
No,
I went to a meeting
I
2
drove
weeks
when I
ago
was shooting
and I got
back up.
trapped in there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not consistent.
Oops, what did I say?
Plus, we're off merchant hours now downtown's, they rolled up the sidewalks a while ago. Town hall's closed. Town employees are going home.
All right, well, maybe we at least have a conversation with the town about how they're gonna provide access to their parking lot.
Yeah.
Is that something you can do, or you want me to do that?
I can start with the town administrator and see where it goes if you like.
Okay.
Moving on, Park Street, nothing to report this month, the radio system, nothing. Personnel, firefighter EMT Peter Sargent resigned on March 25th, and I was able to hire one of our call firefighters, who's a career firefighter down in Hudson, to replace Peter on our roster.
Was Peter a paramedic?
No.
He's an advanced EMT.
Probationary, right?
Probationary, well,
New.
No, he's
No,
no,
he's
Peter.
got-
Peter was an EMT basic.
Peter was
Yeah, he was,
just a basic EMT.
Yeah.
He was a probationary firefighter. Mike Lewis has 5 years of full-time experience. He's an advanced EMT. He's got all the certifications and CDLs and everything. He's a great catch. It's fantastic, really. It's another example of our call department supplying career people for us. So, he lives on West Street. It's like 1,000 yards from the fire station, maybe.
Yeah.
So, just letting you know. And currently working on the adjustments to the operating budget after the district meeting. The upfit on the new pickup and the decon. I have a decon grant. I'm working on a decon grant to get SCBA washing machine. And what I didn't put on the report is I've been working a lot with the legislature on changing some of the New Hampshire laws regarding ambulance billing and how it's billed, direct payments to us instead of to patients, minimum payments allowed by insurance companies and things like that. And had a big breakthrough today where Senate Finance Committee voted to approve legislation that would make direct payment to the provider law, whereas right now they can pay the patient or the provider. And then we have to chase the patient for the check. And that's putting the patient in the middle of something that they really don't need to be in. So if this law gets signed into law, if this bill gets signed into law, that'll be automatic payments to the provider. And the minimum payment that an insurance company will be is 3.25 times the Medicare reimbursement rate. And if this comes to fruition, my rough figures are we'll be collecting an additional $200,000 a year in ambulance fees. So I know I put a lot of time into this, but I thought it was really worth it to the fire district. And it will benefit every fire department and every municipal ambulance service in the state. But this has been, when I was the president of the fire chiefs, kind of started on that course. And now I've worked my way all the way through the things, and I'm not even on the board of directors of the fire chiefs anymore, but this still, now it's my baby, and I've been running with it. And a lot of compromises. Senator Sue Prentice from Lebanon's worked very hard for us to get us there. I had a meeting today with Senator Lang out of Samberton on it. He had a lot of questions and concerns. I'm able to allay all those fears and concerns that he had, and I think this is hopefully it goes through the House without any problems, and it'll be signed into law.
So, let me get it straight. So you're saying Medicare will pay more?
No, Medicare is.
It's gonna pay you so much money.
They only pay you so much money, what Medicare pays you. But private insurance companies, most of them base their pay on what Medicare pays. And so, for example, I have these things right here. For an ALS-1 call, which is most of our calls, the majority of our calls are ALS-1 calls. Medicare will pay us $537.12 for it. A private insurance company will give us $617 for it. It cost us $1,957 to provide that service. With the legislation in place, for an ALS-1 call, they have to pay, the insurance company will have to pay us $1,745.
To break even, comes closer.
It comes a lot closer.
Yeah.
So, given that insurance is 20% of our payer mix, we collected last year of our collections, $114,000 of our collections were from private insurance companies. That will probably increase to like 300 and change.
Right.
So it's a net $200,000 increase if we do the same number of runs and same number of collections.
But-
And it eliminates balance billing. So there'll be no balance billing after this, where we're trying to chase people for bills.
Yeah.
That part of the law is also part of the law. We don't have to chase anybody.
Right, better money and solid money.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it also helps a lot of the private ambulance services where just last year, 3 private ambulance services went out of business in New Hampshire. And they provide most of the interfacility transfers, but when there's not enough of them around to go around, they start asking the fire departments to do some of these calls. And we're not really geared up to do that. And we want to do interfacility transfers unless it's a person's life and death thing. Then we'll do it. But otherwise, we're not going to do it. And then patients get stacked up in the emergency rooms waiting for beds to get transferred back to nursing homes and stuff like that. It'll be better all around if this legislation gets passed. Helps alleviate a lot of problems. It's not all the problems aren't alleviated, but this is a big chunk of it.
But if I was on Medicare and I called the ambulance
Yep,
and they take me
yep.
and I had no insurance,
You have Medicare.
that's it.
Yep.
So we have to take what they pay and that's it.
Yep, that's it. Medicare, you cannot balance bill.
Even if they come from another town.
It doesn't matter where they come from.
Okay, that's what I needed then.
Yep.
Well, thank you for all your work on that.
And that's the end of my report.
Any questions for the chief?
Not yet.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
I didn't bring the revised budget.
Well, there's a budget attached, but
That's, well, actually, you can look at that, and that tells you the revised budget. But I had a spreadsheet that better shows it.
okay. Do you want to go to that next, or do you?
Yes.
You've got old business here, cisterns and.
Yeah, that,
So it's your support. Revised budget, well, I want to do revised budget next.
you don't wanna do old business?
Yeah, I see it. We'll do whatever, what do you, you're the
Yeah, you
chair.
have the chair.
Well, let's get through this. Probably isn't a take long. Let's do old business cistern easements. Is that in relation to the one we're trying to do up on Vista Heights?
Yes. So I sent an email out, I don't know how long ago it was now. We discussed rather trying to get an easement to use permission, you know, a letter of agreement with the property owner. And after discussing it with Attorney Fitzgerald, he said he highly recommends that you stick with the easement because you don't have any rights really with a memorandum of understanding.
And that just goes with the owner, and he's gonna go with the property.
Right.
According to, with the deeds, he'll, current guy sells it, you've got some forward motion there.
Right, and that's with one of the dry hydrants that we have on near Mike's house, is that depending upon who the property owner is, depends upon whether we can use the dry hydrant or not.
Right.
Repair, right now it's broken, it needs to be repaired,
Hmm.
so. But the attorney said, stick with the easements, and if they don't wanna give you an easement, just don't put one there.
So are we looking at other property?
We're gonna probably advertise on our Facebook page or something like that to see if people have property where they think they, and I'll go and look at it and see if it's worth putting a cistern or a dry hydrant on their property. Because I've been around town looking, I says, this is a good spot, and I talked to some of the homeowners, and some places they're cooperative, and we get something going, and we get something in there, and other people are saying, yeah, no. I says, but it's perfect. This is a perfect location.
It seems like there's a lot of good locations up there on Vista Heights.
Yeah. So his recommendation was to stay with the easements, and I was just gonna run that by the board to see if you wanted to do that.
I guess that sort of brought up part of that conversation, and I would think that we would definitely want to have an easement. We're gonna invest that much money.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
All right, just wanna make sure.
Yeah.
Sanborn Road Agreement.
Oh, that was.
Oh, that's
a
the,
connection.
that's this thing. And we have another one on Sanborn Road that we've been waiting to do. We have all the parts, we're just waiting for the contractor to put it in.
I thought we were waiting for the ground to freeze. and
Well, it never
did.
froze, I guess. And there's a wedding on that property in June, I think.
I know it's sometime soon. I just talked to Christian about that yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
All right, so this is the Sanborn Road. We sent this to the attorney.
This is what he sent back today. I have not even read it. It was when between my meeting at Lakes Region and here, I ran to the office and printed this off, so I haven't even had a chance to read it.
So, Jason, the conversation at our last meeting was we had a verbal agreement with the town of Tilton to make the Sanborn Road property adjacent to the police station available should we want to consider it for a potential site for a fire department. And the handshake agreement was that it would be a land swap for the Center Street property, which we've been talking about. They would give us that property, we would give them the Center Street property. And so they were gonna come up with a, put it in writing, and then I think things got busy at the town, I don't wanna make any excuses for them, and then Jeannie left, so we initiated a conversation with the new administrator of business,
Town administrator,
Town
Paul
administrator.
Branson.
who sent us over a document that we had a lot of questions on. So we sent that along with our comments to the attorney to rework that, which is apparently what this is, and as the chief indicated, nobody's looked at it yet.
So, I don't know if we wanna look at it tonight, but
They-
we should probably take it home and
Did
go
they
through
put that
it.
on the, I wasn't at Tilton's town meeting, and I didn't read the warrant. Did they put it on as like an advisory with the town?
No,
No.
Let me come back to bite 'em.
Can, I just want to bring up, there's no way I am gonna sign anything until we decide what we're gonna do for station. I don't wanna get locked into something here and decide that we're not gonna do something here, it's gonna be someplace else, then we're locked in because we've signed this.
well,
I don't know what this says really, it might
This-
not,
I mean, if they're willing to trade 50, why do we have to sign this? We shouldn't have to sign it, shouldn't be nothing in there. When the time comes, then we'll just,
my suggestion was we take this home.
I will read
review
it.
Yeah,
bring it
because
up
there
at
may
the
be
next
some
meeting.
outs for,
Is that agreeable?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll read it, but even then, I'm not gonna sign it, I don't care if it's, because they have not decided, it's up to the people to decide what they wanna do. That's why he's sending out this letter. Why should it be up to us to sign an agreement if the people don't want it there?
Okay, so we'll review this before next meeting and have that on the agenda for next meeting?
Yeah,
yeah, because you get into page 5, there's a whole bunch of right to terminates and things like that. So there could be, yeah, I gotta study it too, say, hey, if we decide we don't want to, how do we get out of it?
Right.
I don't get locked into something we can't get out of, that's the trouble.
Is there any other?
I've watched my town buy and sell 3 different locations for police stations before they built one, so it's a good point.
Is there any other old business?
We're on the new, no,
no, I can't think of any,
new business.
unless you can think of something.
No. All right, let's move to new business. What do we need to do to ratify the district meeting?
Just discuss it. That's where you're gonna discuss what they made changes to and,
Okay, well, I was hoping we were gonna be able to talk about the budget and your suggestions on where,
yes, that's what this is.
perfect. And is that information gonna be easily understandable?
No, but I can verbalize
If
it.
you go to the operating budget versus actual, I can bring up the spreadsheet.
So, the main difference is that we had the budget committee's recommendation, we had the fire commission's recommendation, and then we got voted the bottom line budget for the operating budget. What I did is I went, using that bottom line as the guide, I went through the whole budget with a number of goals in mind and to see how far I could get down the goal list and still meet the budget. My number one goal was to maintain the 4 safer employees. Easily done. My number 2 goal was to make sure we fill man for man on every shift so that we have 4 people on every shift. My number 3 goal was to maintain the salary recommended by the budget committee. My number 4th goal was to make sure that we were able to do as much training as we normally do. That's where we kind of really started falling off. Going through the whole budget, there were cuts in every section of the budget. from, going down at it. I recommend, the legal, starting at the legal line is recommended at 10,000, I cut that to 4,000. Still knowing that it's a bottom line budget, we're gonna be making adjustments as the years go, as the year goes along.
Medicare was the next one.
Medicare, because of less overtime, less payments, Medicare payments.
Electricity.
Electricity, looking at, actually moved one up and the other two down because of looking at where our usage is in one of the locations is going to be more than what we originally had in the line for that. But the other two will, hopefully will come in less than what we had in the recommendation. What's the next thing?
Repairs and maintenance. Center Street was first and then Park Street.
Okay, so we cut we usually have $5,500 in the line item for Center Street repairs because, as you know, the building's a little old and everything in it's kind of old. We never really know what's going to happen. I cut that down to $3,000. And then all the projects, we're going to get some new beds. We're not getting new beds. And then all the projects that we're going to do at Park Street, I'm not going to do any of those projects. That's like repairing the lawn, putting access control system in, things like that. All that's done, and so there was cuts made there.
Landscaping.
Yep, no landscaping.
Shed Road Tower.
That one went up. That was the electricity that went up.
No, this is where we cut.
Oh, yeah, so there was a grant that we got $53,000 to do work there. We cut the work down to $51,000.
Then we go down to the overtime.
And that's where the big cut is, in overtime. Still maintaining 4 people per shift.
Right.
But all the training that we do,
That was cut as well.
training was cut as well.
Yeah.
That's where the major portion of the cuts are. Now, we're working with the deputy, the training that we do outside, we're gonna try and bring inside as best we can. But it's not gonna be as efficient or probably as nearly as good when we can have a whole day concentrating on doing one type of thing. The only thing that we are really continuing to do in the training is the training that we have to do, maintaining our licenses for EMS, and the only other thing that we're doing really that's going to create overtime is the swift water training. We go in the river a lot, and we really need to be proficient at that. I don't want to kill anybody.
Right.
So, other than that, everything else is scrapped. And that's really the major thing of it. And it brings us to,
Information technology.
yeah, we cut some, we were supposed to get 3 computers, we're gonna get 1. Kathy's. Because we don't want hers to break.
Right.
We're not doing data destruction.
Yeah, we're doing that in-house. So, that's, I think, is there anything else that I need to say?
Uniforms.
Yeah, everybody gets $600 a year for uniform replacement, we cut that to $400.
And the call company got cut as well.
Yeah, $50 a year. They $200, and we cut them to $150, which is the same percentage.
And this reflects on the raise,
Reflects on the bottom line.
the raise. Yeah, but the biggest thing is the raise.
The biggest thing is the absorption of the 4 firefighters into,
But the raise, you're still giving them the 15% increase in pay,
yes.
which bothers me because we decided, I did not, but the other two decided on 10%. And here we are, we're gonna give them the 50.
But this-
So we're gonna make cuts in other things so they can have their 15%. We're gonna sacrifice other things so they can have their raise. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, we did the last survey assessment, which went before the budget committee, and it was approved unanimously by the budget committee.
I know what it was. I understand it was.
Recommended that we be at this rate, and so that's what we're trying to implement.
And it was also, if I ain't mistaken, it was brought up, and I think it was by you, Jason, that if you give them the 15%, nothing next year.
Not from me. I mean, that was the goal of the budget committee, was getting to the middle of the pay range of the 12 towns. I know that somebody got up and had an example of one town and one department and one budget, right? They were talking about Belmont. And I think at the budget committee level, it was, listen, here's, I don't know, 12 or 14 communities. And the budget committee's vision was to try to get into the middle or slightly into the middle, knowing what was happening with a couple of changes in those. Because we didn't think we wanted to do it again next year and try to aim for the middle if we're looking at trying to fund the building. That was their fear, is that, you know, it was going to be a double whammy with keeping the staff in a raise this year, or a raise in a building possibility next year. And the budget committee spent a lot of time saying, well, let's get the raise thing done, because we don't want to revisit raises next year. I know there's years there's a COLA or a step or whatever, and there's been years where we haven't had that. So that was the word from the budget committee, do a raise, but be on point for building next year. I think that's where our eggs got to go.
And so next year, when it comes around, they're gonna come back and say, you know, this town gets this, they got a big raise.
Yep.
And the insurance is going up, and the insurance they were getting, it went up
Yeah.
last year,
Oh, yeah.
which adds to it.
Yep.
And there again, we're gonna sacrifice training and some of the other things simply because they would not stick with the 10% increase in pay. I offered 5, the other two offered 10. I thought that was generous of them. Plus the insurance went up 15%, I believe, somewhere around there. So actually, they were getting a raise there too.
Well, I wish you were the commissioner's representative on the budget committee rather than, because we would like to hear from you back then, Paul. That's the first we get of it.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not, I understand, but it's quite an increase in pay to get that year, 1 year.
It is, but in the job market, even the state did it. They lifted, they went up 10 or more, and then the state did a total reclassification of the job positions and eliminated a bunch of categories, and then had a list, and some people, like, I just get this other 7 cents because they bumped me into the next nearest thing. It's an evolving job market, and I think this business is not exactly, I don't think kids go to school saying, I want to be a firefighter. This is and as far as training, I would rather be in a position where the chief is cutting training on a highly skilled department rather than having a department with turnover, which the budget committee thought, could there be in a year or 2 or 3 more turnover? And then now you really got to train, because now you're training people for the first time. And a bunch of guys that haven't worked together, or haven't had these teams, or haven't trained together and had that cohesive unit of the staffing as it is. I think that was another piece of the conversation, is retention. And then there was another whole conversation about some plans and some ideas you had for retention that weren't even brought up in any of this, paying a little more for a degree or paying a little more for certain skills. And we've got to, I think we've got to get with the times that the rest of the world is doing in the job market. I think this was
The
a
thing
step
is-
in the right direction. I hope it's enough, but
Well, you see it everywhere. Not enough employees.
can't get bad help.
Let alone-
DOT District 5, over 50 holes in all those sheds at Plow Highway. Over 50 openings. It's been that way. People don't, it's not a job people get into or stay. It's a lot of people are retiring out of that business or that trade. You see it everywhere. It's hard to get that help.
So you had prepared, sorry, you had prepared a spreadsheet.
Yes,
I thought it was in my folder, but it wasn't.
Is that something that you'll be able to send out to us?
of course.
Okay.
The other thing, when next year comes, it's gonna reflect that you made all these cuts to do this. I am gonna expect, and other people are gonna expect that you're gonna hold the same thing. If you can cut X amount of dollars here to give them a raise, then we don't need this, you don't need this, you don't need this. So it'll come back, trust me. I mean, you're cutting things now, and we let you have basically about everything you asked for. And then some, and now you're cutting all these things, showing us that you could have cut a lot of them.
But you can't every single year cut things out. You can't keep cutting services. Municipalities are being forced to do it.
Whatever next year's budget is, it's not gonna have a significant lift like this year was, because you're not adding staff.
Right.
That was the biggest hole in the boat.
And I understand
Yeah,
that. And there again, there's no doubt we need 4 guys. I was for that anyhow. The pay increase was the biggest thing, the 15% plus the insurance on top of it. That's what, the 10% would have been good, and the pay for the insurance. I could have got along with that, but the 15% was, and you don't have to explain it to me again, but I'm just telling you, next year, look,
So, say the base pay is $21 and 10% is $2.10 of a lift. So 15% is an extra $1. I don't know. I don't know if that's a huge number in this conversation. $1 on a $20-something position. I don't know. I just hope it does what the budget committee looks to have it do.
Well,
You know.
it certainly helped us attract a seasoned firefighter.
Well, he's not starting at the bottom. Right? He's coming in the middle because he's got all those bumps for his certifications and his licenses and stuff. He didn't start at $21 an hour, I know.
No.
Right.
But he's not starting with the number of years' experience that he has. I kind of had to
Yeah. Which is
massage it
actually-
a little bit, because he's getting a shorter commute and things like that. So I was
Right.
able to negotiate with him somewhat at a salary that he would accept
Right.
at this point in time. But if I went lower, he would have stayed where he was.
My question, I think when you had asked me about this, is I would have been more okay if we had left the gap. Somebody leaves and wait till the new person's on board, because the person leaving was making less than the person coming in. So we're spending the overtime line to fill, and it doesn't, to me, it doesn't match, and it doesn't equally offset, because the new person's gonna come in, is gonna make more. That's gonna hit the salary line a little different than the guy that left. So had that been that space for a couple of weeks and not use the overtime line, that's overtime money you could use for maybe a little training or a little bit of when you need it. I don't know. That's my strategy, and I don't know that 3 is enough on certain shifts, but when you have somebody out, you always have to replace that person, and maybe you do. I don't know. Those are the things I gotta learn, and watching my phone blow up with the calls now that I got the app in there, and it's not summer, it's not busy time yet, right?
In my mind, 4 is the absolute minimum we can operate around here. Because during the day, even during the day when we're busy, we're busier during the day. We
Right.
absolutely need those 4 guys. And at nighttime, when something happens at nighttime, a fire or something like that, you don't know what you're getting, but you know at least you have those 4 guys.
Right.
Where that's the minimum standard for getting an operation going safely.
So here's the question I've always had. So at Center Street, there's an engine and an ambulance.
Yep.
Ambulance gets called, get another ambulance call. Where's the other ambulance?
It's a Park Street.
So how do you get it?
Drive over to Park Street.
In what?
Take it, and then in the engine.
Oh, you get in the engine and go and get it. Okay.
And then
So
leave both engines over
it
there.
would be, we've got to get to that point where the 2 engines are where the people are.
Yeah.
Or the 2 ambulances are where the
Yeah.
staff are. Because you lose time in that.
Yeah, our call
Yeah.
staff is actually Dwayne is excellent at,
Yeah.
if we know Dwayne's around, he'll call and say, I'll bring you the ambulance.
Yeah.
So we'll take the engine to the
Those
call.
are the nuts and bolts thing I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Okay, we got 4 people here, but we don't have the
Yeah.
trucks there, do we automatically go get one so we're on point, or,
Yeah,
We're always working on the fly
Yeah.
and how to maximize, or minimize time
Right.
response.
Yeah, that's just the stuff I'm curious how that all goes together.
All on the fly, because you can't plan.
No.
All right, well, I look forward to seeing that spreadsheet with all the,
Yep. I'll send it out in the morning.
It's already gone,
Oh,
I
you
think
already sent
I
it
got
out?
it, I think.
Okay, good.
and I'm sending another email
Mhm.
to them clarifying.
all right, we have to sign the
PMS
232.
232, yes. This is the appropriations as voted. Oh, wait a minute, I need that back. Because there's only one page you need to sign and I came prepared. I didn't know who was gonna be the chair.
You assumed it wasn't gonna be Paul?
Well, no, I had Paul on there and I had you on there.
Oh, still
That's
got
the
all
chair.
our lines.
So, you know, not knowing who was gonna be,
I don't know.
I figured Jason would say, oh no, not this year,
What?
being chair.
Yeah, it's his third year on.
Mhm.
Or second, but,
You're up this year,
yeah.
right? I'm gonna read it too, so.
You wanna read it, have fun?
No, I'm not gonna just sign it.
The window well.
Well,
Line
reaching a day.
4902, that's the, both warrant articles, 5 and 6, is that what that note is for?
Yes, the warrant article
Yes.
numbers are beside them.
I'm
The
glad we're
first-
not doing any airport administration this time.
I know. The first email that I sent you, don't worry about it until Thursday.
Yeah, I'm not gonna deal with that tomorrow.
No, I didn't want you to.
Nope. I flagged it and I'm gonna ignore it.
No.
Till Thursday.
Anything I send you, ignore until Thursday.
That works. Maybe. I'll need something to do tomorrow.
No,
I'm sitting in the parking lot. Gotta work sitting inside.
yeah, I don't blame you. Look, my daughter works there.
So sad.
I'll take the cover page back.
But I don't know which section.
We don't
she
even have to
works
make
in.
a motion and vote on this, we just sign it.
You just have to sign it.
I noticed some towns have this posted with their town meeting. It seems like. But I'm not saying that we,
A lot of zeros and no surprises, so.
well, it's a standard form, so.
It is, yes.
There's nothing else to fill up there?
Thank you.
Schedule meeting dates for the coming
I'm missing a page.
year.
Oh, no, got it. Oh, yes, I've got my calendar.
We've been typically meeting on,
The first Tuesday of the month. But since Jason is new, does that work for everybody?
That doesn't bother me at all. I don't wanna rock the boat.
Okay,
does that still work for you?
Yeah,
I know there was a conflict with Northfield.
Northfield Select
Selectmen's
Committee
Board.
meeting, they meet the first Tuesday and the third Tuesday of the month.
And our building committee usually meets the second and fourth Monday.
Mondays. So this gave you an off week. You know, I mean, you had the first week, the second week, and the fourth week.
So if there's a different day that we wanna think about, so we're not conflicting with the selectmen.
Wednesdays does not work for the chief.
Why?
I'm okay with,
I don't care.
I'm
our
okay
meeting.
with Mondays.
Yeah, I'd like to get to a place where the towns, it doesn't conflict with the towns, because they're Tuesday and Tilton's Thursday, and,
Right.
mean, I could do the first Monday.
First Monday would conflict with us on training.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Which has been cut, so-
Every Monday?
No, that training
That's
doesn't
called,
have the time.
oh, it's different.
Is that every Monday?
It's the first and the third. The second Monday, we have an officers meeting. And then the fourth used to be EMS, but we don't do EMS anymore for the call company. They can come in during the day, but they don't at night.
What does the second Tuesday do?
Still conflicts with the Tilton Select,
No,
just,
No, no.
First and
doesn't-
third.
they're just first.
It's first and third.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I could do the second. Tuesdays are good for me.
second Tuesday would be awesome. I wouldn't be doing QA for the entire day yesterday. Get the chief's report for it.
And I'm writing everything else, just this.
Does Tuesday work for
Yeah,
you, the second?
Yeah,
I can swing that. It's the third one I can't do. That's Tilton Sewer.
All right, so, starting in May?
I don't wanna do it in April.
Oh, you don't want to be next week,
No,
too?
I'm with it.
Come on,
Once
I'm not
it's
gonna
up.
be
Got my
here.
fill.
Yeah.
I'm on vacation next week, so it won't bother me at all.
Oh. Vacation for everybody then, right?
No,
No?
no work.
Second
So-
Tuesday.
You want me to just go through the calendar and tell you what the days are?
No, just drop them in and email it and like you did that other calendar.
Oh, you like me to email the
That was,
calendar?
yeah, that
Okay.
worked out pretty slick. It was pretty blank, but I, you know,
Well,
It's
that's,
nice to have.
Does
that's
that work for you,
good.
Chief?
Yeah.
this month
And
was.
that works for you guys?
Yay, and it worked for me.
All right, so we're going to the
Kevin,
second
does that work for you?
Tuesday.
It don't make a shit bit of difference what I want, anyone that ever has, but I'll let you know what's going on in public comment.
Okay. All right,
If I don't
second
get bored and
Tuesday.
leave before then.
alright, good.
All right, assign commissioners to committees. Well, I'm currently on the building committee, and my preference would be to continue.
Yes.
And my thought would be that you should take the budget committee unless Paul wants it.
Paul had plenty to say about the budget.
I'll take the budget.
Take a swing. I may visit both. I built the PD, but I don't, it takes a lot out of you. I get a free spin for now? Can we like create another committee or
Well, you can bring that up in new business for later on.
do not need another committee right now?
All right. Chief, I see you have paving behind Center Street out here again.
We discussed it, so
We can take that off.
Okay. Ambulance equipment.
So, I contacted each of you by phone and about this, and some of the equipment that we had budgeted for the new ambulance, it was going up substantially. And, I asked if you thought it would be okay to buy it now, and we can cycle that into our equipment rotation currently, and save, it's about $12,000. So, and you all agreed, and so we ordered that equipment, and one of the pieces arrived. I don't know when the other piece is gonna arrive. They don't have a timeline on that yet.
Not in a hurry, don't have the truck yet.
Yeah, I know.
It'll take as long as they want.
And so what I'm gonna do from now on is, I know the list of equipment for that new vehicle. I'm gonna monitor the pricing on those, and I've talked to all our vendors. I said, if there's gonna be a price increase on this, and you've got like a week or a month ahead of time notice, let me know so I can run whatever it is by you guys.
Right.
See if it's worth it to purchase that piece before the price goes up. The only other thing that I know that will probably be going up shortly, although he couldn't give me a specific date, is one of the radios. That's it.
So since we weren't all together, I'll tell you guys what I said, and you can tell me what you said is, I approve this with conditions, because I don't like to buy stuff 2 years old when it goes on a brand new truck. But if this doesn't compromise warranty or depreciate, I don't wanna save 10% and have it depreciated 20%, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd rather pay full when we get there.
Right.
But, so those, my conditions were just along the lines of depreciation, certification, warranty. You know, so I'm sitting in a box for 2 years and we put it on the truck and then go to do something and it's not supported or it's not, you know. If it doesn't compromise the operation, doesn't compromise the certification or licensing, because we're trying to get a third brand new ambulance fully licensed. If there was no risks or perils to that, I was okay with it. If there was gonna be any glitch with that being gonna be a problem in a new truck, then I would not have supported it. I'd rather pay what it takes when we have it, that's all. I don't know what your guys were at with that, or.
So would any of this stuff void the warranty by buying it now? I mean, when we,
No,
I mean, a stretcher probably doesn't go bad, but I know rope expires, you know, I mean, my knowledge is limited, you know.
so we purchased the cardiac monitor, and with that, you have to purchase the maintenance agreement with it, and that's the warranty. And so, even the one that we have that's bought in 2011, we still have to purchase a maintenance agreement every year for that. So that's the warranty for it.
Right.
And that keeps it up to date, firmware-wise, hardware-wise. There are still things that break on them, like the cables and things like we replace after, you know, the cables that hook up to you, like the blood pressure cuffs or O2 sensors. That's wear and tear items that we have in our budget that normally we replace a few of those every year.
Right.
But the machine itself, you have to buy the maintenance agreement to keep it up to date because it's a medical device. It's not like, it's not like I don't know, an automobile where as soon as you register it or purchase it, the warranty starts, and if you leave it in the garage for 2 years, you've lost 24 months of that 36-month warranty.
Right.
So the medical equipment isn't like that.
So and this ambulance is gonna be the same setup as everything else, so everything's gonna fit. It's not like, there's no guessing as far as.
And then, so who are you referring to, the 2011 version? Is there an end of life on that, or do you just keep renewing and it
I
lasts?
suppose at some point in time there'll be an end of life to it, but we've been maintaining it's on the engine right now. It's the oldest one, so it's on the engine. It's not like on one of the ambulances.
The new one will be a little, very, very, very similar, but there's little differences like see-through CPR, see-through bagging, so the valve mask. It actually integrates into our BVM and our CPR machine, which is the auto pulse now. So the new one will integrate into that. But other than that, it's really the same model. They have not. The buttons are in the same spot. They look the same.
Yeah.
It's not a piece of machinery like a Chevy truck that they try to change every 3 years.
Yeah.
So you buy a new one, they do maintain them for a long time.
All right, any other? Do you have copies of the minutes?
No.
Or should I say any other new business?
No other new business. I did not bring copies of the public minutes because they were emailed out to you guys.
Which I saw them, I just didn't know if Jason had. I guess I had one piece of new business. Did you have something?
no, go ahead.
Okay.
Jason mentioned it earlier. It was brought up at the district meeting about the Belmont Fire Department. And of course, you had to leave the meeting going, well, their budget's, 1.8 million as compared to ours. And, the comment was made, similar amount of calls, similar size fire department. So I went out and did some research on that, and I just want to bring it up for the record, because you're not really comparing apples to apples. Yes, they only have one less firefighter, but they have two that are safer grants firefighters this year. So they have, they're paying for 3 less firefighters. And their call numbers are not the same as ours. They only did 1,519 emergency calls last year. The chief also has several other positions within the town. He's the health officer, the forestry warden, and the emergency management, EMD.
Yeah, emergency management director.
And not bring this up for discussion unless you have questions, but Then if you look at the rest of the Belmont town warrant, there was a warrant article for miscellaneous fire department equipment for $124,500. That wasn't in their budget. They had a warrant article for wages and pay increases of $145,432. It was a little less clear about some of the other things. You know, water, I didn't see water in their budget, but I didn't have an itemized budget. And then how they handle things like building maintenance, IT, and admin, and whether those are charged out specifically to the fire department included in that $1.8 million, or whether those are in the town budget elsewhere. So it's not that our budget is tremendously more, we're just not comparing two similar fire departments.
Yeah.
And all that information was readily available on various online sources.
We did an MRI study, I don't know if it was back in 2008 or 2009, I know it's going way in the Wayback Machine now, but one of the comments from that MRI study was that it's hard to compare us to any other fire department because town to town it's completely different. Some, their health insurance benefits aren't in their budget, some the retirement benefits aren't in their budget. In all those towns, they have a finance director, they have an HR director, they have a town manager, which we have none of. The plowing, the snow removal, the water, there's so many things that we pay for that aren't in most fire department budgets. And from town to town, so it was very difficult. I know it was back in 2008 or 9, but I think it's still relevant today to, you know, how this fire department's made up. But we don't have support from a town on really anything.
Well, that's the thing, it's a village district, right? So how many other village districts are set up like this? That's the challenge. You know, I agree with that, yeah.
And you know, just one thing, we are fairly lucky. Most towns, the money that they take in goes to the town.
Mhm.
We're lucky we get that. However, if you took all the money, if we did not get that, what would it cost to run the town, run the fire department? I mean, let's face it, we pay for all the medical supplies, it comes out of the apparatus and equipment, all the upkeep of the trucks.
The
I mean,
trucks.
so you add them all up there, and the budget's gonna be kind
Yeah.
of, probably be close to 4 million. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're fairly lucky we have that.
Yeah, when Belmont, they're not buying a truck this year, but
Right.
when they do, fasten your seatbelt, right?
Right,
When
there'll
they
be a
got-
warrant article for.
Well, and a warrant article, possibly, it has to be financed, so
Yeah.
they're paying interest.
I fear that, yeah, these are towns that bond for things way more than, and we're fortunate that we, like you said, we pay cash, you know, when we buy it, we try to buy it outright, and that came way before me, that's not my wisdom, but I'm glad we have it, so.
I happened to stop in Twin Mountain and picked up the Town of Carroll report, and they had, 50 warrant articles because every single item is a separate warrant
Yeah.
article. And this will affect your tax rate by 1 cent, and this will affect your tax rate.
But our meetings are still longer than their meetings, we got that going for us.
And, all right,
Ah, it's good numbers.
anything else under new business? Okay. Moving on. Review of minutes. I did see the minutes, I did read them. Paul, I don't know.
I read them. I'll make a motion we accept the minutes. 3/5/24 public minutes as written.
I'll now second that. All right, been moved and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Staying,
Right, non-public minutes?
not on my watch.
Hey, Tony, pass it down, please.
So we go into non-public to review the disposition reports, which we'll have tonight.
Okay.
And this is just the minutes of that non-public session.
Okay.
I'll make a motion we accept the non-public minutes As written.
I'll second that. Motion's been made and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I can hand those back.
Abstain.
You have to give those back.
Thank you.
Shred them.
Okay. We don't have any other minutes.
We do not.
Okay, review and sign manifest.
Mhm.
Can we do that after, to change the sequence?
Okay.
Yeah. Public, and then we can.
Is that all right, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's move to public comment. Probably should move that up to the top.
I think over time, there's,
It's been all over the
yeah.
agenda.
All right. Well,
Public comment.
Go ahead, young lady.
May I go first? I just want to thank you for changing the meeting. That's all. So, thank you.
Pass the word.
Kevin.
So, I heard you ordered a new pickup.
I'm sorry, what?
I heard you ordered a new pickup. Let's not waste any time. Let's spend that money right now. What are we getting? Did you three approve it?
No, the previous commissioners approved it.
Can't approve it before you have a budget. You can't spend money before you have it.
We haven't spent a penny on it.
Say again?
We haven't spent a penny.
It's been ordered. You've committed to something.
Nope, the commitment was with the dealer that we can order it, and if it's not funded, we don't have to take it.
So I guess your
Because
question.
they can sell it like that.
Of course they can.
So that was, and if we didn't order it,
So your question is,
Question is, have you three
ah,
approved the purchase of the pickup, what it is, how much it is, and what it's gonna be?
in September or something like that.
I have a copy of the.
The answer is no, because I wasn't here. Simple.
I have a copy of the cost. So yeah, we probably should. Thank you, Kevin. We probably should review that and approve that.
Are you changing out of non-public, out of public comment to do that?
Do we need to?
Well, you're in public comment.
Yeah. Well, no, we'll have to leave public comment. Yes.
Are you done with public comment?
Nope. I assume there's more.
Yeah, I even got a list. I learned how to use my notepad and my phone. So you guys talked about the budget and what the budget committee did and who else did related to the budget. The budget committee is done their work. When it comes time to what money gets spent and where it gets spent, you hold those purse strings. So if you want to change something, you absolutely can do that. You are not, in my opinion, put in place to follow, but to lead. You are, in my opinion, the eyes of the taxpayer. There are certain things you have to do, but there are many things you have a world of latitude on as far as spending the money. I need to learn how to make my phone stay open because it likes to shut me out. Who wrote the warrant for the 24 annual meeting?
Wrote the warrant.
The
Who
commission's
wrote the
warrant.
warrant?
For what? The meeting?
But, you know,
The
warrant
20
articles.
The 2024 annual meeting warrant. The meeting we had a month ago. Who wrote that warrant?
we all do, we did that here during the commissioners meeting. Then we send it out to get,
DRA or whatever they do with it.
guess maybe I don't understand the question.
Get your point, because there's something in there.
The point, it's very straight. Who wrote that warrant? When I sat at that table, I wrote it. For 2 years, Tom Gallant wrote it the other year. Where are these ideas coming from that gets put on that warrant? It's your warrant. It's the commissioner's warrant, no one else's.
Right.
Well,
It should be coming from you.
It should be approved by us. I think.
And where I'm going with that is how Article 7 was to take $100,000 in tax money and put it in the land and building fund, and to make the commissioners agents to expend. Whose idea was that? Why do you want to be agents to expend?
that came out of the building committee having money approved and then not having it lapsing, and so we lose the money. And then part of that discussion was, if you made this fund, if you made the commissioners agents of this fund, if you needed more money for that process, you'd be able to do it without having to wait till district meeting, was, I think, part of the discussion.
But we have money for the building committee to use after we took it out in '23 because we screwed up and let it lapse.
And we made it non-lapsing.
That's correct. So that's covered. So you can't tell me that it was done in case the building committee needs more money. We have the money. And you know that by virtue of the passage of Article 7, you are in fact now agents to expend that fund. So, I asked you all at the district meeting that you would pledge not to spend that money, given the controversy of how that got passed.
Correct.
I'd like it on this camera and on these minutes that you will not touch that money.
I will say that because I said that at the district meeting.
I know you did.
I did too. I don't feel the need to repeat myself. I'm not going to be a follower to your words. I hear your point, and you and I resolved it at the district meeting in front of a much larger audience.
Are you looking at me, Kevin?
I am.
Yeah, I would.
So, will you, in the '25 annual meeting, place a warrant to rescind that vote?
I'd be okay with that.
And do it, if you want to be agents, do it again, where we know what happened this year. It's the cleanest way to do it.
I think it does need to be addressed at the meeting.
Yeah, there was too much confusion there. You know, coming in the end of the night, and that was one of those one where people were asking questions over and over, and it wasn't clear.
Belmont, we were talking about how they buy equipment. They have a fund similar to ours, but they still finance their stuff. So they have a warrant article to take X amount out of that to make a payment on it. I don't know if it was an engine, maybe, you know, something. So if you read the warrant, that's how they do it.
Yeah.
And we might have even,
We did that for a while.
we might have even borrowed some of their language when we did our.
What happens if the taxpayers don't approve payment of approve the money for the next payment?
Yeah, that's what they did, but it comes out of that fund.
Yeah, but if the townsfolk don't approve the warrant article for the next payment?
Well, I assume it's a lease purchase, and I mean, I think municipal leases in New Hampshire require a non-appropriation clause, so that if it's not funded,
Goes back.
it goes
back.
away. I don't know what the change was in mindset, but the meeting change was a good idea. From Tuesday, I guess it's still Tuesday, right?
It's
Just
just
the off-
Tuesday,
the
it's
off-
Just
just
offset so that if any of Northfield selectmen wanna come, they're able to. Tilton always could, so that's a good thing.
I think that, you know, we would like to demonstrate partnership with the rest of the communities in town.
I tried before and I got stonewalled.
Yeah.
I don't know what the change is, but I like it. As far as I know, the fire district needs a moderator. What are your plans for that?
I was gonna put that on the agenda for next month. I don't know, is there a timeline that we have to have a moderator?
I heard you were in third place on votes.
Hmm?
Did you accept the position or not?
I'm deficit stuff.
You got votes. Are you interested in being the moderator?
Well, here's what, I've had this discussion with a lot of people in the towns. If there is, the bottom line is, you three will appoint someone
Right.
through the next election. So, if there is something statutorily that needs to get done by a moderator, that's gonna put the district in a jam somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
if you wanna appoint me, I'll do it.
Okay.
I won't take any money, and I will not do the 25 meeting. Because there's probably gonna be a bond at that meeting, and unless I'm dead, I will have something to say about that bond. And it's not appropriate for a moderator to say, hey, wait a minute, I'm a moderator. No, I'm not. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
You can't.
And
Yeah.
the other issue with me doing it is, well, there's two. It takes me off the floor from the debate. I don't know if you know this or not, but I like a debate.
Yeah. But,
Notice.
you know.
And it also
So
excludes
where's the
me-
downside in this?
It excludes me from the budget committee, because the moderator does the appointing,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't look good.
Right.
I appoint myself, no
Yeah.
You
thanks.
can't.
Oh, yeah.
So, more relative to the budget committee in 25. I would like to see you place a warrant to change the budget committee to elected.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because who would have thought it would have gone this long? Right? How many years now? Been a while.
27.
Because what that does is it gives the power to the people,
When did they
not the
vote?
moderator.
No,
Right.
I said, I don't think you have an elected budget committee.
No, it's a good point.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
you get into
right.
voting
Good
and
point.
it's-
You
I-
can't.
District budget.
Village district can't have an elected budget committee.
It has to be
I'm
appointed.
fairly certain.
Well,
It
let's
has to
find,
be-
yeah, let's find out. you
We'll,
know?
we'll ask the attorney.
There's only one town that can have that.
Derry.
I didn't fall asleep.
No, that's going from 3 to 5 commissioners, and it's Merrimack, I think.
Yeah, there's something about the village district and budget committee.
But a school district,
It's not a village district.
yeah, so, let's find out.
Ask the
Because we'd
attorney.
have to change our form of government or something, something like that, I can't remember what it,
Ask the attorney.
yeah.
Do you want me to ask the attorney for the legal thing?
Yes, please.
All right.
Hope it
Get
doesn't
the-
cost us too
You might
much.
be able
We
to
just cut the
file-
line.
we can find
You
it
just
in
cut
the
the
RSA.
line. You
Right.
can't do,
Yeah. Hopefully it's
you
on-
gotta ask.
Catherine Heck will do the answer that.
Second Wednesday of the month, the free legal line.
Municipal
Wait.
Association.
So anyway,
I can
You
ask the
understand-
municipal
you
association.
understand-
thank you for
Kaplan
your
Heck, yeah.
or your interest or offer to, as an interim, or, you know, work with us, work with you thing.
If you're in a jam and you
Yeah,
need it, that's
yeah.
fine,
Yeah,
I'll do
okay,
it.
Yeah,
But
the search begins.
beyond 25, I might do it.
Yeah.
but
No, you won't.
No. There'll be something else you want to debate.
Yeah,
Because I honestly, I've thought about it for a few years,
right.
but I,
At least you wouldn't have let the people standing in line not have their say because somebody tried to call the budget.
Call question.
Any other,
that's it. I'm done.
okay,
No.
no, anything else?
Thank
No, I don't think so. I mean, the only thing I would say, you guys probably aren't gonna do anything about it anyway. So I think the 15% is a lot of money in 1 year. And I think if you're cutting training, that also affects employees, just generally my experience. And I would rather do something over a 2-year period and do a 10 and 5 and put the 5 back into the training. And give them 10 this year and 5 next year. And then you've already pre-planned, so you're not gonna have a debate, you know what you're gonna give, and all of that will be done.
You know, it's
That's
funny, that was
just-
a piece of the conversation was how to operate in a, using the kind of the format of a collective bargaining agreement without being one, because we can't promise next year's money, we can't encumber next year's money, we can't, uh-oh. That's, I am responding. It sends me like 4 texts that breaks the thing.
we can
Oh,
parse that down,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, that's the only thing I would
Yeah,
suggest.
thank you.
So.
we went rounds with that to try to figure out how to do a multi-year plan.
You
and
just
a
have to make
multi-step
sure that everybody's on board, that's
Right.
all. Anyway,
Yeah, thank you. Any other comments?
Chief, you can contact the municipal
Yeah, I
association
have
to
it
get
right
that
here.
question answered.
Yep, I got it. Thank you.
All right, do we need to go back and review this pickup truck purchase and approve that?
You asked me to order it in September.
Thank you.
We asked you to order it, but I think the point was made that we didn't, you can't approve the purchase of something until you have
The money.
the money. So now that the money's been appropriated, do we make a motion?
Are we going back to old business?
Is that old business or? new
Any other business?
Any other business? Any other business? Yes, that's where we're at now anyway.
Yes, it is.
Do
Well,
we need to do the same thing with the list of items in the ambulance revenue capital equipment fund? That was
I would
approved.
think it would be the right thing to do.
well, the pickup came out of the ambulance fund.
Right, but the other warrant article that included the purchase of all the supplies and equipment and all that.
Yes.
Do we need to vote to approve to purchase all that equipment?
They did that at the district meeting.
Yes.
They authorized the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we
So
have
you
to
did-
authorize the purchase?
I don't know, what are you guys been doing for?
Well, you ratified it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't remember last year that we actually voted to
So-
purchase equipment.
We've, once it was been approved at the district meeting and then the commissioners ratified the district meeting, we operated
Right.
under that guise, and we have a purchasing policy which we follow, and if anything's gonna be outside that purchasing policy, I contact the commissioners to get the feel of what we wanna do with that, and
Can you add that to your question for the Coates and Concord about whether we're doing it properly?
You should ratify district meeting. We should go back, you know, you've already gone over the operating budget and taken care of that, but you skipped right over the apparatus and equipment fund budget.
If I could, Tim, I don't, myself personally, I don't believe, we went over the budget line by line by line.
Right.
We approved certain things. Now all of a sudden, we're taking money from different areas and shifting to different places. And I know we can do that,
Yep.
but I think it ought to be approved by the board, whether we do that or not. I
Right.
mean, he's made some major changes.
Right. Well, so I agree. I think we need to see the copy of the
I emailed that out.
new budget that was just emailed.
It's 2 emails. The first one has the budget that where everything is highlighted that's been reduced. And
Okay.
the second email states that that does not include the warrant articles for the land and building fund or the contingency fund.
Right.
Because those are separate money articles, so they're not included in the other.
Right. So I think we have a number of things that we need to review that and confirm whether we believe the items that the chief is suggesting be changed that we agree with. I think that
Because to me, it's, I know it's a line, it's not a line
It's a
item
bottom.
budget, it's a bottom line budget. However, the people saw all that stuff, what you need it for, now we're changing everything.
right.
And to myself personally, I don't think it's right. I really don't think it's right because the people approved all that you need it for this. Now you take.
They approved the bottom
Something-
line.
I understand that,
Right.
but
Something as simple as like a computer. Well, why didn't we just vote for one computer to begin with?
that's
Instead of
right.
3,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
So people are gonna look at it, well, God, look what they did last year, we give them this here, and then they just reduced it to this. That's what I'm saying, they're gonna look at that like, I don't know, I just don't feel right doing it, but,
Well, and that's why, I don't know, I came into this meeting feeling like the chief was gonna give us a list of all the things where he thought he could reduce to make the new dollar amount work, and then we would discuss it.
okay. Like I said, it just doesn't seem right to me, but, you know, the people approve all the money for certain items because you need it for training, you need it for this, you need 3 computers, now you only want 1.
No,
Because
I
you
want 3, but we're gonna get.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. You asked for 3, they approved the budget. And I know they approved it because he needs 3 computers. Yeah, let's give it to him.
And then next
Now,
year you're gonna
next
say.
thing you know,
next
they
year-
find out
Yeah,
he only bought 1, now you need 2 more. You got 3 last year, what'd you do with the money?
gave the guys raises.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's it's gonna come back and hit us in the face. Trust me.
I mean, doesn't that happen with every business?
It does.
Well, that's,
I mean, I sit there and
yeah, but little things do, but we're talking something major here.
And then somebody gets.
I don't know
up-
what the bottom line is. How much did you reduce it, take money out of?
It was 150,
$136,000, I think, was taken out of the budget.
yeah, 135,941.
Yes,
Was what they
what they.
would act out, because they went to the commissioner's line instead
Right.
of the budget committee's line.
Right.
Yeah.
So the budget committee had put in
just-
the raises.
But right, we have to have the conversation, but everybody's forced to that. You do that at home with your personal budget, you're thinking
understand.
next year I'm gonna, I don't know,
I understand.
remodel a kitchen and then you put it off a year. And I do that at work where I wanna buy new computer equipment every, 3 years, and now it's 4 years, and
I understand that.
I gotta try to justify to the boss why we're.
All I'm saying is, trust me, it's gonna come back and hit us in the
Okay.
face.
Deal with it when it does. That's all we can do.
Somebody will get up at the public hearing and at the district meeting and say, every budget has fat in it, every budget has, right? Every
They
budget
do,
can be
yeah.
cut, every year.
So you don't need this, you don't need this, and you don't need this.
Every budget has a little bit of extra.
Yeah, like ours did, right?
Now, when are we signing all the policy? Are we gonna do that next meeting?
Next meeting,
Okay. Because one of the things I'd like to review, or I'd like to at least bring up next month, as it relates to policy, is when we approved the budget and gave it to the budget committee, and the budget committee approved the budget, the current policy, in this case I'm referring to the wages, implements the new wage increase from January 1st. And I guess I want to have a discussion about that. Because if we were to have had $500,000 removed from the budget, we might have to go back and say, we're not giving them raises, but we've already been paying it for 2.5 months.
Right, it would be retroactive, right?
So I've talked to a couple other, well, I didn't mean to have the whole discussion. I want to have that discussion next month about that policy. And then obviously, we need to talk about the moderator. Okay, that's all I had for other.
You're going non-public?
Well, what about the manifests?
Oh, yeah.
It's Jason's first time.
So this is a total of all the checks, and then all the supporting documentation is behind
Who are
it.
these people?
Well, that's why
You'll ask, right?
Whisker law here?
That is legal fees
So
for,
Yeah,
you can actually.
Are we
I'm gonna go right down
caught up
the-
now with him pretty much,
no, we still have district
Those are
meetings.
attached, yeah.
oh, he charges for
He hasn't
that?
charged us for that.
So some of this is,
Police department here.
I should have gathered.
Is
That was
for
the district meeting.
Tree medical.
Right.
Industrial protection services. Gauntlet,
I'm wondering why, do they,
Irwin.
like, the police department, do they offer Northfield a chance to do that, or I wonder if they get the opportunity to
Yeah.
supply an officer?
It's never been brought up because.
I know it's in
the town of
Tilton, but
Yeah, I'm gonna
why
say.
wouldn't you
Yeah.
give Northfield, I mean, it's part of a district.
Talk to the police chief in Tilton, that it's in Tilton, so if we were having the town meeting in Northfield, district meeting in Northfield, we would contact the Northfield police to supply a
Yeah,
detail.
I guess, that's, yeah, I guess.
And the Tilton PD have a collective bargaining agreement, there may be something in there about that too. But I see plenty of other police officers in the town of Tilton doing traffic details. from all-
They farm it out if they can't fill it, then they get right of first refusal, and then they farm it out to
Right.
Andover or whatever.
I know that's probably similar in most cases, most municipalities.
That one, they overpaid.
Oh, these are
And that's a
ambulance
refund.
payments? Oh,
Yes.
Okay, I was like, who are these?
There's
Citizens.
two of those in
Yeah.
this one.
Let's quench water.
Yes.
That's what?
Paying for water everywhere. Everywhere you go, we're paying for water.
Yeah. Stop at a Quick Mart. You complain about the gas price
I
at
know, right?
$3.65, and you're paying $6.95 for a bottle of water.
My water has
Okay.
coffee in it though. That's it.
Yeah, that's
Sure,
right.
okay.
That's right.
The yellow ones are all
Is that a one
They're
time, or is that a?
Auto pays.
auto pay.
Yeah.
Or
We get that with sewer with all the pump
Quench,
stations there.
yes,
Yeah.
they come in every year and they
Easy
service
pays, whatever
the
they
two
call it.
water bubblers, the one at
They're
the,
ACHs
well, not
where
bubblers,
it
they're,
just goes automatically.
they look like a water cooler without a bottle, so they take the water from the street, and they filter it, and it cools and heats. Kinda like, it's better than, it's cheaper than Poland Spring or
Yeah.
Belmont Springs or something like that.
And
Wax,
those are the
that's
ones that you
wax for
have.
fuel?
Yeah, and then they
Yeah.
come in anytime it breaks.
They're
they
pretty
fix it.
cool.
It's all part of the service
We have
contract.
that in the state.
Oh, do you?
Does that exempt you, does that dodge the fuel tax?
It's supposed to, but
That's what I
the month
thought.
the bill that came this month, they didn't rebate
Oh,
the fuel tax on
Yeah.
it. So I'm like,
did you contact them and,
Irwin, that's for,
The
ambulance.
ambulance,
Okay, that's in here.
Quench, that's the water.
that's the one.
so
That's
did,
for 2 Park Street and Center Street for a year each. Yes,
Did
no,
we-
I have not.
okay.
Okay, have to go to Sam and then go out to spring there and start collecting.
Yeah,
Or
I agree with
Belmont.
you, it's the
There's
best
a place
lot.
over in Belmont too.
exactly.
Where at?
By the Sanborn Country Store there, but
They get that pipe sticking out of the ground?
yeah, then
Go over there
yes,
with your milk jugs?
yep.
There's one at Bristol.
One in Plymouth.
One right outside the road, up in Berlin Gorham. actually
Yes.
Randolph.
One in Pittsburgh.
Optiplex, is that your
I was
computer?
gonna say, is that Randolph or Jefferson?
Yes, that's my new
The new
computer.
computer?
I think that's Randolph,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Optiplex.
Sometimes.
right there on that corner.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Sometimes there's enough cars
Piled up there.
Yeah.
Tewksbury, they had, they call it deep rock well water. And it was right on the grounds of the old airport. And I'm wondering how much fuel was spilled into it.
Exactly,
But people
exactly.
paid $1, well, back in the day, I don't know what they do now, but $1 for every 5-gallon jug that you filled.
Uh-huh.
And they had a little slot and they had the cameras there watching you. And the deep rock well water outlet is right in the middle of the parking lot
Snip and tuck. Somebody
of
get
what
some
used to be
body work done?
Tewksbury Country Club, but
I
now it's
wish. No.
Treehouse Brewery.
It's, you know.
And you can't get
clothing
near the place
adjustments.
anymore because Treehouse Brewery is packed.
You know, they come
24/7.
without packages.
Yeah.
and
It's
can't see
crazy.
town.
I heard the golf course is back in good shape.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. I haven't been down
All
there.
their tee boxes are beer cans now.
Yeah. It's a kind of like an executive 9
Yeah.
hole. They have 4 par 3s, 4 par 4s, and 1 par 5.
We try to do manifest twice a month. So what
Might get a
generally
phone
happens
call.
is
Oh, we have one meeting a month.
we have one meeting a month,
Yeah,
so.
so just as 2 piles.
No,
No,
and then
people
2 weeks
come
from
in
now.
and
Oh,
review it,
do it on the fly.
yeah,
I was gonna do that. Buy some bigger clips, will ya?
yep.
Can't wait to-
Or
Here.
pay less bills.
We can take that out of the
If you'd be
budget.
willing to sign this one too, thank you.
Do you have the sheet for non-public?
The script.
The script.
Yes, I have
That's
the
a lot.
script.
I'm not sure I've got this down to the science.
I was wondering if there was a script for that.
Is,
There is,
non-public for disposition reports only?
yes,
Or personnel, or real estate, or any, yeah, because when we did the, built the PD, we went into non-public a lot, because we were discussing real estate and price we'd be willing to pay, or.
No, I
Yeah,
understand all
yeah,
that, but
right.
usually disposition reports don't involve.
He wants to
us.
go have dinner.
And we skip.
Oh, yeah, oh, got it.
Thank you, Mike.
Already.
I'm gonna stick around for a minute. Officers meeting next week, I don't think I can make it, so I'll have to,
Okay.
I'll send a text out. I won't
Thank
be
you.
able to tomorrow, I'm gonna be in Dartmouth all day tomorrow, but Thursday.
He just wanted to know if he was getting written up, is that why? Is that what was just,
I was escaping.
Alright.
All right, we need a motion to enter non-public.
You're gonna do the minutes, right? What do you want me to scribble to?
I want you, oh, I guess I can, right? Right.
But I'd have to read all that. I make a motion, but you have to read the thing. I make
Yes.
a motion because of blah, 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 RSA. and all
Yes.
that.
No, you're making a motion just to enter non-public, I'll read that.
Okay, I'm making a motion to enter non-public.
Second.
Alright.
Okay. Reason for entering RSA 91-A:3, 2C. Matters which, if discussed in
Thank you for the
public,
company.
would
Have a good
likely
night, everybody.
affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to include any applicant for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of fee, fine, or levy if based upon the inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. Roll call vote. Paul Ozer,
Yes.
Tim Sattler, yes. And Jason,
Yes.
and Jason is on the list here, so says Eric Powell.
Oh, sorry.
Call Eric.
No, I'm sorry. I forgot to change it. I've been really busy.
Wow.
Since district
Now that we're
meeting.
in non-public.
Well, you're not yet, 'cause
Nope.
I haven't, that's
We're not.
Public enter-
Oh, and you
entered at
and
7:34.
you gotta hit the other one too.
Oh, boy.
Oh, we got bumped.
Doing it, Tim.
All right,
Got it.
it's recording again.
All right, public session reconvenes at 7:47 PM. We don't have to do anything else on that, right? Okay. That's it on the agenda, isn't it? Anything else on? Okay,
I'll make a motion we adjourn at 7:47.
Second.
motion's been made, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion
Aye,
passes.
sorry. Vote with your feet. It's not debatable.
All right. well,
Thank you,
that
gentlemen.
was fun, I guess, maybe.